Okay. Okay. Good morning, everybody. My name is Daryl. Thank you for joining me for today's session on that you've been asked to do and provided the opportunity to do with your employer on research using the internet, which is a government approved course, which you will obviously get a credit for once we've completed this training and the appropriate assessments that are conducted throughout and after this training. My background, I'm a trainer trained in delivering this content, and we'll be able to run you through it for the entirety of the session, as well as conduct the assessments at the end. So first up, we'll just provide a confirmation of your identity. As when you applied for this course through your employer, you had to fill out our identification paperwork. And I'll just confirm who we have with us joining us today. So learner number one, good morning, how are you? And that's you, Owie?
That's me. Good morning, I'm good.
Good, excellent. Just confirm for me, please, what's your date of birth?
Date of birth,
Yes.
July 4th, 1981.
Excellent, thank you. Learner number two, morning, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad, thank you. Excited for this opportunity to teach you guys this content. Just for ID confirmation, please, what's your date of birth?
It was the 9th of September 2001.
Lovely. 2001, yep, excellent, lovely. And learner number three, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I hope you're well today and ready for some exciting training today.
Yep.
Just confirm, please, what's your date of birth?
10th of August 2003.
Lovely. All right, excellent. So you are the people that we need to have here on this course, which is great. So experience researching the internet, just from the application paperwork that you guys filled out, it seems like it is your varying experiences, but maybe plenty of opportunity to learn, and some of you are a little bit more experienced than others, but it sounds like a reasonably basic understanding, and hopefully you will all get something out of this today. Would that be correct? Yep. All right. Lovely. So probably the first thing, because we're going to be here for a little while to start with, this content of this course initially will run for two 30-minute sessions of training, but it'll go for an hour all up. And then there is after that, there is a 30-minute assessment session, which we will go through together. So you can see in the chat box there, I have sent you a link. You can open that now or not and have a look at that. But that is, and as per the online or the confirmation that we sent you via email on when to join this course, there was a copy of the Safe Work Australia workstation setup. So you're comfortable. You're not going to get a sore back or a sore neck because you're, squished up in a corner or something like that, and your station is fairly well set up, so it's not distracting for you while we run through this. Also, as well as providing that copy, I think we can talk about the learning objectives in this. So you can see there, we're going to identify the legislation and regulations relevant to the work role, assess and interpret policies and procedures relevant to using the internet at work. We're going to use the internet to conduct research. We're going to confirm and plan to complete a research work task as per organisational policies and procedures. So what your employer specifies in relation to researching on the internet. And we're going to document and present information collected according to the task requirements. So that's what we're going to run through today. in line with all this, as I said, it is a government-run course. So I will drop in here when my mouse comes to life. Excuse me. So there is a link. If you wanted to look at that, you can. There is a link to the National Training Register and the actual requirements of this course, which we will obviously hit all those key points of learning throughout this session. And I also thought, excuse me for one moment, there is also the Student Learner Handbook. Now look, we sent you a copy of this initially for you to look at before this session even started. But if you don't have it at hand and or you want to have a look at it again, there is a copy there of the Student Learner Handbook. Right. Any questions on just those? They're quite simple links, so nothing too extraordinary there.
No.
Excellent. Let's have a look at. Let's move into these slides. So that's what we're going to be doing. You can look at what those things are or are not in terms of the competencies required by the government that we're going to hit now anyway. So, like I said, this is a 2-session training session this morning. So session 1, we're going to run through these things here that you can see. So it's communicating with others, assessing online tools and software, backup and store data, undertake training and professional development, access news and industry updates, and research and gather information. So in relation to this is all the legislation and regulations around Australian workplaces that sit on top of whatever your company policies and procedures may be. And they will be written to comply with these regulations and acts. Now you should be able to, you can see there's the Copyright Act, Privacy Act, Work Health and Safety Act, Anti-Discrimination Act, and the Online Safety Act. So there's quite a lot of those acts. And then, no, sorry, there are no more. You should be able to click on that link there. Just go ahead and try that. See if it opens up a browser for you.
Yep.
And what can you see there?
The Copyright Act 1968.
Correct. So that is, and you can see the link there where it took you to the legislation.gov.au. You can see the address up the top, yes?
Yep.
Yep, excellent. So you can go and search for any act. I've just preloaded the Privacy Act, but you can look at any of those acts, the Copyright Act, the Work Health and Safety Act, any of those acts. You can go to this website and look at those acts yourself if you ever needed to. All right. And so they're to cover you in the workplace. Right, policies and procedures. So your company's policies and procedures, which are written under the legislation of the acts, outlines acceptable use of the internet, who has access to the internet, because not everybody in the workplace needs it, and or there are different levels of security, required for different parts or access to. Websites and content that employees are not allowed to access, like I was just saying. Security measures, and as in hackers and spam email can't come into your employer's drives and create havoc in there. How to handle sensitive information, and monitoring and logging of internet usage by employees. You as part of your employee induction, would have been shown where to find these policies and procedures in your own company's intranet. So you can go and you will know. And if you don't know, you can ask your line leader, and they'll be able to show you where in your site drive, your company drive, where you can go and find the policies and procedures relating to this. And obviously all the company's policies and procedures would all be in one place on your central drive. Right, work health and safety. So I touched on this earlier, but it's setting up an ergonomic workstation. That link is, I think, takes you to the picture on the left about how to be comfortable in the workplace, not just for this session, obviously, but just in your day-to-day living at a desk. And it's all relatively straightforward stuff. But it's there as a reference if you need it. So this one, research, this is really now we're going to get into the crux of the training. This is research applications and tools. This is how to access information online. So the learning objectives we'll cover is access and use internet browsers for research, access and use search engines for research, and identifying how to access help for online applications and tools. So this is how to get into the internet and do searches. So online applications, there's many different levels and types. There is search engines, which I think most of us all now live in a world where we all know about Google or Yahoo, the different search engines. Then there are online databases, whether that be a government database, whether that's local or federal government. You can access their databases, just like that legislation website that we went to where we were looking at the Privacy Act. There are digital libraries where lots of information is stored, and like the actual local library would have digital resources where you can log in and go and look up data and information, or universities also have large digital libraries if you are a student at university. There is Google Scholar. There are obviously government websites, like I was saying, like the legislation one I've got, or environmental. I'm sure there'd be a government environmental website. And then there's online surveys and polls that get sent around from various organisations. Internet browsers. So once you are logged into the internet, you then have the browsers that let you search the internet. So it's a software application that allows you to access and view information on the internet. So you can see on the left there, they're the most popular ones that people use. And the key functions of those things are as written there. Address bars, tabs and windows, bookmarks, history search, your download manager, if you want to download information, which we're going to talk about. Security and privacy settings, and just normal page zooming and page settings, so you can set things up how you like them. Any questions on browsers? Which browsers do you find you use the most? Learner 1?
Google Chrome, I'd say.
You use Chrome the most, yep. Learner 2?
I'm at the moment on a browser called Brave. It's similar to Google Chrome.
Oh, right, okay. All right, good. And Learner 3?
I usually just use Safari on my phone.
Okay, all right, excellent. So you guys are familiar with, with the browsers and the various types. Excellent. And I mean, I guess you use what works for you, so, and what you're familiar with. Excellent. So search engines. So once we're in a browser, then we can use the search engines. And there are, again, on the left, popular search engines, although I don't know, has anyone heard of DuckDuckGo?
Yeah.
All right. Learner 1, have you heard of that one?
No.
No, I have not either. Anyway, it's an option. And the key functionalities in these is, I'm going to say obviously, but there's a search bar where you can type in the words that you want to look up. There's query suggestions. It will obviously take you to the search results page where it will show you all those things. Page summary, advanced filters. I guess if you really want to narrow the search replies down because they can be overwhelming. You've got thousands of returns in a general broad search. And then you can select whether you want just images or videos or whether you just want documents or whatever you're looking for. And then it can also take you off into related searches that might have something to do with that particular search that you're looking for. Okay, so do you guys have any questions around search engines? It's all, yes, Learner 2, Learner 3.
What about like AI? What are yours takes on that?
Yeah, okay. So I know what my personal taste is, but it's more so what your employer regulation or policies, what they think about AI. So a lot of companies now are getting well invested in AI and they are using it for various functionality inside their businesses. So it just depends what your company, what their tolerance and allowance is with AI. And depending on your position, if you're allowed to use AI, then I dare say you would know about that, and the information around that will have been rolled out.
Yeah.
So
Ask my employer.
yes, if they haven't made it clear to you on what the requirements are around AI, then yeah, they certainly should be, because I guess there is security. There is security threats, I guess, around AI. Like anything, just in being on a normal browser, you can, you might go to parts of the internet that your business doesn't want you going into. So there is that. So, Learner 3, are you okay? Have you got any dramas there?
No. That's fine.
Sorry. Okay, excellent. Learner 2, how are you? Have you just what's happening there? Wow, what's that? Sorry. Oh, has your computer got issues?
Yeah, it's coming back now.
Is it? All right. We will just pause a moment while Learner 2 gets their session back together.
Yeah, all good.
I'll just touch on this. Do you... let me type a chat message and see if Learner 3 can see me in the chat bar.
You mean 2 or 3?
Sorry, 2. Otherwise, I do have their mobile phone, so I can ring them and just see where they're at.
Yeah, okay. It says in chat that they left chat, so I don't think they're here at all.
Oh yes, I think you're correct. All right. Well, hopefully they're just having to reboot their computer.
Yeah.
And I can. Oh. No. Yep. And hopefully they can rejoin in a second. I'll just send them the wait 1 second. One moment, I'll just call them on
No stress.
I'll just call them on the phone. Go to the loo or anything you need to do. This should only take a couple of minutes though.
Okay.
And I'll see where they're at. I guess this is the beauty. Oh no, here we go. They're obviously logging back in. Oh, Learner 2.
Yep.
Well, welcome. Oh, hang on. Is your mic on?
He's deafened.
Oh, there we go.
Go ahead. Sorry, I'll mute up.
Excellent. Right, you haven't missed anything. We sort of just paused the session while you were getting organised. Did your computer just crash or something?
Yep, just shut some down.
All right. Have you minimised? Do you have any other apps open?
No, everything's shut.
All right, good. All right.
It's just a very old computer.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see how we go moving forwards with this. Learner 3 was just asking about AI. I'm not sure how much of that conversation you heard before you dropped out.
Most of it.
You got it? Yeah, excellent. So a recap is that it depends on your employer and what their policies are in relation to AI and how much you can and cannot use that. And it'll depend on your employer. It will depend on your position. It will depend on the department you're in. So, it's there's many variables around that.
Yeah, gotcha.
So this is the end of session 1. So you can see we covered, just to recap, there was quite a lot of information there condensed in a short space of time, but we talked about legislation and regulation, and which covers the various acts in Australia, which sits on top of your company's policies and procedures and the things that your employer has to do or is required to do by government. Then layered under that is your policies, the company's policies and procedures, which covers all sorts of things, right? Your own health and safety and everything, but includes internet usage in the workplace, your acceptable use of the internet, access, restricted sites, security and monitoring and everything that goes around with internet use. Research applications and tools. So how to access information online, which is using browsers and search engines, and using the tools around those. Online applications. Again, the search engines, databases, government websites, the various forms of applications that you can get into there. And then browsers and the different types of browsers. But, most people, they'll rely or use the same ones over and over again because they're just familiar with it. So they're the ones they typically stick to. And then same with search engines. Again, your main few that most of the people use. But your employer, you might like using Google, for instance, but your employer might like preference around Yahoo or Explorer. So, that depends as well. So with that in mind, let's now go and have a little practice, and let's just open up a web browser and look at least 2 search engines. So, out of interest, which I've never done it, maybe you could have a look at DuckDuckGo. So, go and open up a web browser and then just look at a couple of different search engines and let me know if you're having any dramas or how you go with that. Learner 1, how are you going?
Good.
Yeah? Relatively straightforward?
Yep.
Excellent. Which search engine did you jump into?
DuckDuckGo, like you said.
Oh, okay. All right. Good one. Oh, yes, and I see you've worked out how to change your backgrounds in Teams as well.
Yep.
Excellent. Learner 2, which one did you use?
Also DuckDuckGo, it seems like it's just a very, very private Google Chrome. It hides everything and blocks all ads and stuff.
Oh,
It
okay.
reminds me of a kid's search or something.
Yeah, okay. All right. And Learner 3.
I just went to ask.com because I've never heard of it. It kind of just looks the same as Google.
Is it? Yeah, okay. I assume all search engines, the basic functionality is going to be the same, but there would be some, pros and cons to all of them. Some of them might have extra little features if you went into advanced searches and things like that. So it just depends what you are looking for. Excellent. All right. Does anyone need a small break, just for 5 minutes, whether you want to go and make a cup of tea or go to the toilet or have a drink, something like that?
I'm gonna go check on my children.
Yeah,
I check. Yep. All right. Excellent. No worries.
my cat's being annoying.
Is it? All right. Yep. Learner 1, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
It's been ages since my computer's blue screen.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I should have got it again. It's just pretty old.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I suppose it's good because.
It adds some level of challenge to your Yes. Should I just... What does P/W mean? You wrote it on my little piece of paper.
Okay. So we're about to move into session 2, and just to recap on session 1, legislation and the various acts. We know where to go and find those now through that link to take you to the legislation.gov.au website, where you can find any of the acts or legislation that you want. Your workplace policies and procedures and where you go and find them in your company's drive. Learner 3, how are you going?
Good. Yeah.
Okay, all right. You're up to speed. Anything? Is there anything you need to take care of? No, it's all right. It's just you were just on your phone. I don't want you getting too distracted and missing maybe some relevant content for the assessment that's coming up. If you need to get on your phone, and this I should have mentioned this at the start, if you need to take a call or do anything, that's fine, if it's important, so just let me know. So research applications, we talked about search engines, and the tools for those is the various search engines that you're allowed that you can use to get information off the internet. So session 2. We're going to look at create and follow a research plan. So this is how to use the internet to do constructively to follow a plan. Evaluate sources used during research for reliability. So as you know, the internet is just an open source, so anyone can post anything they want. Not all of it is accurate or true. So it's about understanding how to filter out unreliable sources and use search terms and search operators. So, a research plan. A good research plan should include, probably not a mystery to anyone, is what the research topic is, who is involved in the task, and this might only be you or you might be part of a team. The objectives of the research. So not only what are you researching, what are you hoping to find out? The online resources you will need to undertake the research, where you plan to gather the information from, and the search terms you plan to use to gather information. So I guess this is, your search terms need to be as accurate as you can make it so you don't end up with a lot of information that isn't particularly relevant to your task. So, guidelines for research is utilising search engines effectively, access different types of sources, and when I say sources, I mean, whether we're talking about online databases or just the internet in general, like the open source information that you find on there, or government websites, so the different areas online that this information can come from. Verifying the information, organising your findings, because you can get a lot of information in a very short space of time and it could be overwhelming. Respect the copyright and intellectual property, because you can't just go using everything all the time, because as you know, a lot of stuff is copyrighted or protected. Being cautious with sensitive data, particularly if it relates to other employees or people's personal data, and limiting distractions, because as we all know, you can certainly go off down wormholes on the internet and end up looking at things that aren't particularly relevant and consume time and take you away from the actual task that you're trying to do. Yes, Learner 2.
How would you, like, could you expand on how you would verify information? Like, how can you see what online is real and what isn't?
Yes, there's a couple of different methods to do that, and I am fairly certain we cover verifying information very, very quickly. There's standalone websites where you can get that, the website you're looking at, get it verified for accuracy through Trustpilot is one, for instance. But I'm pretty sure we go into it in more information in this. And look, if not, if I don't adequately cover that question for you, then please bring it up at the end, and we'll go into more detail on it.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, defining objectives, and this is the same. You can use this strategy. Some of you may have heard of SMART goals. So you can use this not just for searching the internet, but you can use this for any study or researching that you're doing. And you can see there, SMART is an acronym for being specific, making it measurable, making it achievable. So you're not taking giant chunks that you just, you won't get through on the timeline if you've been allotted one, that it is relevant and specific to what you are looking for, and that it is time bound. So like I said, you've got to, usually when you have a task at work, you are given a timeline to work to. So that's part of it.
Do you think you could explain what measurable means in that context more?
Learner 2, yes. Measurable. Yes, it needs to be quantifiable. I don't know if that helps you in that you need to be able to justify the content of what you're explaining. So it has relativity to it. Does that help?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right, excellent. So when defining clear research objectives, as in laying out the SMART sort of plan, it helps you maintain focus because it keeps you in a predefined area, so you're not going outside the scope of what you're looking for. That naturally enhances the quality of the work because you're not dragging in external data that's not particularly relevant to what you're looking for, because you're maintaining that narrow, specific focus. And it ensures that the research is meaningful and relevant. So again, like I said, you're not dragging in data that's on the fringes of what you are trying to research. So you're not, wasting time. Right. So Learner 3, I think you asked about reputable sources or how you look at that. So here are the steps to assess a source that is reliable and reputable. So the source type and origin. So Learner 1, what do you think I mean when we say the source type and origin? So when we're looking at a document online, what might you trust more than another website?
Well, for research, I trust Wikipedia more than anything else, like a suspicious site.
Yep.
And origin, I think that means trying to find the first case of that, the oldest Wikipedia page, or am I wrong?
Yeah, no, that's correct. Where it has come from.
Oh, yeah.
So is it because the source type and origin could be you're talking about a Wikipedia site, or has it come from a official government site? So, or has it come from someone's blog online, just an online blogger? So, there's various levels, and I'm not saying the online bloggers' information might be incorrect, but it might be biased to their own opinion, or perhaps if they are receiving money from a certain company, then they're going to bias their information towards that potentially. Whereas Wikipedia might be a little bit more reliable, and then obviously a government website has been vetted and, you know, should be the truth. The credibility of the author, the same thing that I was just talking about. So an online blogger, how credible are they, or how reliable are they? You know, is it like a 15-year-old kid doing a vlog, or is it an associate professor that's got 6 degrees and he's talking about the things that he has degrees in? You're obviously going to give a professor more credibility than some kid online. So depending on their content, obviously. Peer review and editorial process. So that's how a document's been released, and has it been peer reviewed? So have other people looked at that and agreed with whatever the document is saying? Currency and timeliness. So how current is it? Because obviously if a document has been written, you know, and released, say it's a medical document, but it was written in the 1970s, then as we know, medicine progresses, and a more later version of that document, one written in 2020, is going to be more accurate than one written sort of 50 years ago. References and citations. So this is where an article will reference where it gets its information from. So the author of the document will talk about a specific thing or agenda, and they might reference, you know, government document 10 that's come from this specific government website, or this university website where it's a professor's document. Is that all good, Learner 3?
Yeah, sorry.
Yep. No, that's all right. Yep. I just don't want you to miss some of this stuff. Bias and objectivity. So like I said, if there's a YouTuber that is maybe sponsored by a company, they might have a bias towards that company or something they're saying about the company's products. And same, you know, political parties or people who have a, you know, lean a certain way, they might have an objectivity or a bias towards their beliefs, you know, religious, political, gender, all those sorts of things, can sway the accuracy of what they are saying. So the domain and the URL. Learner 2, what do you think is relevant here with when we're talking about reputable sources?
Well, it's just different websites are domains and URLs, hey, so I suppose you should probably double check to see if you are on the official website of whatever source you're looking for, because the URL could be like a clone or a tampered one that is something else.
Yep, very good, very good. Consistency with other sources. So, and this is where you can get some confirmation around what you are reading. What are other sources saying? So, an other source doesn't have to be a different web page. You might actually go to a university document or a government website and check information in their databanks. Is it saying the same or the similar thing to what you're reading? So, you know, if it's not too far off centre from what everybody else is saying. And then site design and presentation. Learner 3, what do you think about site design and presentation when you're thinking about reputable sources?
I was just reading that and I'm confused by that. To me, site design and presentation would just mean how the site looks, and I don't know how that relates to this.
Yeah, okay, yep. Good question or good observation. Yeah, I guess if it looks professional or not. So, you know, government websites, like when we looked at the Act, tend to look a particular way versus, you know, a YouTuber who might put a website together, or a company like, you know, bigger companies, their websites look a certain way, whereas a really small run-at-home business, their website, you know, they can just look different.
Yeah, like one's a professional site, one looks like they just made it on Word kind of thing.
Yeah, correct. That's right. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
100%. So, I guess if you're looking at a website that's talking about, something you might be researching, like immigration statistics, and it looks like it was made on Word, then you might not believe. Yeah, correct. You would just certainly want to be aware of it, and double check those the figures or values that they're talking about, because it could well be correct, but it's just something to be mindful of.
More focused on, and then would you just look at all the other things we talked to about like the author and the source type? Then if it looks sus, you would just look through all these other things.
You're correct. That's right. Yep.
Okay.
So not everything in this of these 9 checkpoints is going to all be relatable or available for any particular site, but certainly a few of them you can cross-check. Like Learner 2 said, checking the URL, making sure that doesn't look funny or odd, can be a giveaway. Now, search terms. Search terms are the specific words or phrases that you enter into your search engine. So use specific keywords that describe the topic or subject that you're researching. Avoid using vague or general terms that might return unrelated results. Learner 1, have you had any exposure or experience to this sort of thing?
I guess, one time, when I searched up, something that just came up with a bunch of different stuff I didn't actually want to learn.
Yeah, so yes, yep, 100%, being specific. So, a lot of words, I guess, particularly in English, are interchangeable or can mean different things. So this is where you have to be specific. Incorporate synonyms or related terms to increase the chances of finding relevant information. Not everyone uses the same words to describe the same thing, just like I was saying. And this is a good way to help reduce that, is use filters provided by search engines to narrow down your results based on factors such as data, location, or content type. So that can definitely help. If you're searching quite a broad thing, but you are only interested in Australian data or content, then you can certainly limit it geographically. Or if you only want to look at a certain time range, then you can limit that, So that will help filter out a lot of the stuff that you don't want to see. Now, don't be afraid to experiment with different combinations of search terms. If the initial search doesn't yield the results you're after, modify and refine your search terms until you find what you're looking for. So you just got to play around with the words sometimes to get it right. So even in the advanced, sometimes when you're using advanced filters, you can make your search too narrow and you don't quite get as much information as you would like. So sometimes you have to fiddle around with word combinations or searches to sort of end up more in the ballpark on where you want to be.
Could you go over using filters provided by search engines again? My kid was distracting me while you were going through that.
Okay, yep. So it's just about, and we're about to do a practical task on that right now, as you can see at the bottom of the screen. But it's using those filters to narrow your search down. So now is the perfect time to do that. If you still have a search engine open, that's great. But go into the advanced filter search on that search engine. And I will have a look here as well. So I'm looking at the same things. And then obviously, depending on the search engine you're using, you will have different filter boxes to go and look at. So whether you use the search engine that you had up before or you go to the one that you are familiar with, go into that and have a look. And let me know if anyone is having any dramas with that.
Yeah, it's all good.
I get it now.
So you can see a lot of the times, depending on what you search, it automatically gives you variations on that search.
Yeah.
So it'll give you, sort of sub searches that you can order, what it thinks you might, what else might be relatable to that you might want to go and look at. So, or you can look at images, or there's various ways you can filter down the information you want to look at. Did you find advanced searches easy enough, Learner One?
Yeah, I got it.
Yep. All right. And not every you don't, depending on obviously what the item is that you're researching, you don't always have to use advanced search filters, because sometimes you might put in what you're looking for and you'll get the information you're looking for straight away anyway, or you get enough of what you need without having to delve deeper or filtering your information.
Yeah.
Everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Excellent. Right, document and present your research findings. So this is about, now that you are researching and looking at the things you want, how are you going to document these? So you're going to potentially take detailed or organised notes when researching. So depending on how big your research topic is, or how small your research topic might be very simple and require hardly any notes, because it's just, you can remember what you're doing. Or you might be doing a big research project that might go for a week or more. You're going to want to have a systemised approach to how you're tracking and logging the information that you're finding. Otherwise, you can just get lost in your own research. You want to cite your sources according to legislative requirements and organisational policies and procedures. So this is sort of going back to the copywriting part of it, so that if you are referencing other people's work, you need to cite, or I guess acknowledge, that person's work that you are quoting. So that's part of the copywriting piece of that. You can't just, it's like plagiarism when you're doing an exam or something. You can't just go and cut and paste sentences out of published documents and sort of put that in there and claim it as your own work. And you need to provide research in a verbal and written report. Again, this depends on your employer, what your research is that you're doing. Like, they might just require a verbal report because it's such a simple little thing that you're doing, or it might be a big research task and you will put a written report together on what you're finding. So there's just variations around that. Taking notes. So again, depending on the size of your research task, you might want to take notes to help you later organise your findings, and can also serve as a record of your research process. So if you are doing a week or a 2 week long research task and your employer comes up and says, hey, how are you going? You can show them, by reviewing your notes on exactly where you're up to and how much research you've done and all the information that you're dragging together. And you should take notes whenever you access a source and use the information contained in it. So you can go back to that source if required. So, because if you're doing a big research thing, you'll look at multiple web pages and multiple sources of information, and no one can remember all those pieces. So you should take a note when you access, when you've accessed a course, a link or a URL, and what information you gathered from that source. So it can be as simple as just a Word document like this showing here in this snip. The URL that you went to, and a brief word snip of what information you've taken from that source. It can be as simple as that. Any questions on that, Learner One?
No, I think I'm good. I understood most of that.
All right, good, nice. Citing sources. So this is where I was just talking about when you're looking at government documents, or more so published documents. So when people have written professional reports, like people doing PhDs, scientists releasing their study documents, there will be, you need to cite the source of that information, which includes those things from there. So who wrote it, what it was called. There might be different version numbers. They might have reviewed this a few years later and it might be version 2. The version number, who published it, the publication date, so is it an old document or a new document, and the location if that's applicable. And so this would be some information that you would put in with your notes as part of your research. So written and verbal reports. So as it says there, depending on the task and the processes in your workplace, you may be required to provide a written or verbal report. So again, depending on the scope. So a written report could be in the form of an email or a lengthy research report. So you'd organise your main points, create clear structure of your writing, use plain English, eliminate repetitive phrases or words, use active voice, I guess if you're doing a voice recording or notes, edit and revise your writing, and read it aloud. I feel like that would be more of a verbal report. Dot point there. And a verbal report, if it's a very small report and you just, your immediate line supervisor is just giving you a very small task to do, you're necessarily not going to need to make notes and turn it into a whole thing. And you might just provide a one-on-one verbal report to your manager. Think about what you want to say before you begin. So you may write it down. If there's a little bit to go through, you might jot down dot points like, this is the website I went to, this is the information that they have presented. Just simple things to help jog your memory if there's a little bit of information. Include only relevant information and details so you're not rambling on for a long time. Put things into logical sequence. Be aware of non-verbal language. So, learner 2, what do you think? What do you think about when you hear that? Be aware of non-verbal language.
Just make sure that your body language and all that is matching what you're saying, because oftentimes when we talk, you can be saying one thing, but people can interpret it differently by your tone or by your body language, and so it's just make sure that it's all working together.
Yep. Yes. Perfect. Very good. And I guess if you're talking to a crowd, maybe you're presenting to a group of people, like the board or, I don't know, the various heads of departments, project your voice so you're heard clearly. And that's, some people are really good at public speaking, others are not. And if you're not, then I guess you just need to be aware of that. So this will finish up. We do have a small synchronous online assessment to do before we move into the final piece. So what I shall do is I will, in the chat box here, when my mouse sorts itself out, okay, see that document that has just come up?
Yep.
Go ahead and click on that. And it should have brought up a multi-choice form.
Yep.
Can you see that? Yeah, Learner 1, have you found that?
Yep.
Learner 3?
Yep.
All right, cool. So let's go through these and answer this very short questionnaire. And let me know if you have any dramas just while you go through and look at these. Actually, this is 1 minute, sorry. This is going to be a asynchronous thing we're going to do. So we will do these individually, but what I'll do is I will put everyone in a room. Why is... Now, has everyone popped into a room? Oh, yes, I see you. For some reason that hasn't... Let me try and add a room. Why is... For some reason, 3, 1 unassigned. It's... Look, it hasn't assigned... It hasn't assigned you learner 3. You're still here with me, but that's okay. Like we're in our own little room now. So yeah, so work your way through this multi-choice questionnaire. I will just pop into the other rooms and touch base with the others. Right, learner 2, how are you going with your multi-choice questionnaire?
Yep, doing well, getting through it.
Okay, excellent. Good one. I'm just going to pop into the other room and talk to learner number 1. Learner 1, how are you going with your multi-choice questionnaire?
Yeah, I'm going. I mean,
Ye-
decent.
Yeah, what question are you up to?
So I'm not sure. Why is it important? Why is it important to document the sources you accessed when used when researching information?
All right, select 3 of them. And which ones, well, I guess there's only 4 there, so which one do you think is not applicable?
Not applicable. Wait.
So why do you want to document your sources? So why do you want to note them down, where you've got that information from?
I reckon the one that isn't correct is it reduces workplace hazards and risks, maybe.
I would agree with that because it has nothing to do with reducing workplace hazards and risks.
Yeah.
Perfect. You've only got a couple more to go, so keep ticking away there. You're doing well.
Every time I click an option, it just says save progress. It looks like there's been a more recent draft, and when I click update, it just removes all my progress.
Oh, does it? All right. Work your way through to the bottom, and then we'll see where we end up.
I just can't click anything. I'm just gonna reset the page.
Okay. All right. Let me know how you go. I'll just go and revisit learner 2.
Yeah.
All right. How are you going, learner 2, with your multi-choice quiz?
Yeah, good. I think I've got just one question left to go.
Very good. I'll just go and touch base with learner 2.
Yeah.
How are you going, learner 2, with your questions?
Yeah, all done.
Excellent. All right. Lovely. And did it give you a count?
Like with all the answers and stuff.
Yeah,
Correct
yeah.
answers.
When you submitted the form.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yes. And what was the result there?
It didn't give me a number result, but it was like I think I got about 75% right, I believe.
Okay, all right. Because did it show you which ones were right and which ones were wrong, green or red? Yep. All right. Excellent. Lovely. And can you see which ones where you went wrong with the ones that were incorrect?
Yep.
Yep. All right. No worries. I'll just pop back out and see how Learner 1's going, and then we'll all come back together in a moment.
Cool.
Learner 1, how are you going?
Going alright.
Where are you up to at the moment?
I'm up to the writing one, but I can't, I don't think I can do it because it just keeps updating and removes on my progress.
I wonder if there's a glitch in your... Oh, because that's the second last question. List 3 workplace documents you should access when conducting and presenting internet research. Is that the one you're doing?
It's working now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
All right. What do you think are some workplace documents you should access when conducting and presenting internet research?
Well, probably like what does that mean specifically?
So a workplace document. So if you're about to go and conduct some internet research, one of the documents that your work has would be an internet usage policy. So it would be your company's policy on what they require if you're researching the internet. As in, one of the policies won't be don't go on illicit or illegal websites, so like don't go on the dark web to buy guns or something, like that. Or don't log into gambling websites, for instance, and things like that, So that could certainly be one of the documents that you might look at. So I don't know whether you want to write that down.
Yeah, I do that.
Can you think of any more? A workplace document related to presenting internet research. So where might you write? So say you had to give a written report and email it to people. What document could you write your research down on?
Like a Word file or something.
Perfect. A Word document. Yep. So Word like Microsoft Word would be a document that you could use to, record that information. Yep.
Yeah.
And another document that we might use.
PowerPoint maybe.
Yeah, look, if you were, you could create, definitely like Word, if you were creating a PowerPoint presentation. Yep, exactly. Or there could be the work health and safety workstation document or guide. Remember the one that I highlighted and we looked at the very start? That shows you how to set up your desk properly and to be comfortable and so you don't get a sore back or a sore neck or something like that. So that's another document that you might reference or know to reference if required.
Yeah.
So you just want to pop those in there.
Yeah, I just did that.
Excellent. And so the last one, what information can you identify from workplace policies and procedures to assist you in your research task? So I guess like the other question, there's 4 questions there, so one will be incorrect.
Yeah, so I reckon leaving Tasman staff
Correct, because
is the wrong one.
Yep, we don't care about people's leave when we're looking at workplace policies and procedures for researching. Correct. So, yep, very good. So tick those boxes and then hit submit.
Right. Done that.
Excellent. And then it should now show you which ones you got correct and which ones you got incorrect.
Yeah, so the ones that I ticked off, I see correct ones. But the ones I didn't tick off, there's like an X. Does that mean I got correct?
No, I think that means that one should have been included. So have a look at the results and just see where you haven't caught.
The one that I didn't click because it was wrong, it's still got a little X next to it. Does that mean like, what does that mean? Mean nothing, or is it just telling me it's wrong?
I would have to see your document. Do you want to go ahead and share your screen with me?
It's just like, I mean, I'm pretty sure I already figured it out. It's not like
Oh, okay. All right.
But
Yep. Look, the main thing is to understand the corrections from, where you haven't quite gone right to get the right answer there.
yeah,
So have a look at those and a review of them. And then what I will do is I will bring everyone back together just to finish this session off. All right, we are.
I just need help with the second last question.
Oh yes, yes. What is? Let me have a look.
The list 3 workplace documents.
yeah, that was confusing.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, we can all listen in on this one. So yeah, 3 workplace documents you should access when conducting and presenting internet research. So documents that you have in your workplace to do with researching the internet. One of them would certainly be your policy for using the internet.
Oh yeah.
And like I said to Learner One, that would be things around not going to illicit or illegal websites, so you not end up on the dark web, trying to buy ammunition or guns or something.
Yeah.
Or gambling websites. The company has certainly got a policy around what they want you looking at on the internet, or what they don't want you looking at more so on the internet.
Yeah.
Another document could be if you're compiling information, say you have a medium to large size research task, you're going to want to record, like we talked about, the URLs and the type of information that you're getting. So where could you record that information on your computer?
Like Word.
Yep, correct. 100%. So there's another document you would use. And then potentially, look, it is a little bit of a challenging question, this one, because it's not so obvious. But another document that potentially you could use would be one that we looked at the very start of this, when we started our talking about this training, is the ergonomic and station setup of your workspace. Excuse me.
Okay.
So your chair is set correctly, and you don't get a sore back and all those sorts of things.
Yep.
So that's another document.
Okay.
All right. Is that completed then, Learner 3?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So that's a short self-assessment just to help, I guess, formalise and cement in the things that we've gone through in this last hour. And from here, we will close this session. This is the end of the training session. And from here is the conclusions and all those things that we covered on that page that you can see. So from here, there is going to be an online assessment. So I will close this meeting, and then we will we'll come back and we will work through. It's a group process, and we will work through the 30-minute assessment that is on this subject at the end of that, or to put into practice all the things that we have been talking about. So brilliant. Thank you for your time. I hope you got something out of it, and we'll come back very shortly and do this assessment.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Lovely. Thank you.